Bibliographic research is essential to any animal behavior research project. Reading up on your topic will put your initial observations into context and help you shape your research question. Your readings will help you narrow down your interests. They will familiarize you with what others have already learned about the animals and behaviors of interest to you and the theories they have proposed to explain those behaviors. Bibliographic research is also helpful in generating your own ideas and hypotheses as well as research methods. Published studies often generate as many questions as they answer. One of these unanswered questions could become the basis for your own study. Science progresses because ideas are constantly tested and revised. Think of yourself as a contributor to a much larger research project. Your study will begin where others left off, updating what is already known about your topic and adding to a knowledge base that others will build on in the future. To organize your research, you may find it helpful to break your topic down into a visual outline. Your outline should start out general and become more specific as you narrow and shape your topic. This will help you decide what kinds of information you need and how much. Say you're interested in spectacled bear behavior in zoos. You've observed them pacing back and forth in their enclosures. To decrease the repetitive behavior and keep the bears physically and psychologically healthy, your zoo has begun an environmental enrichment program by introducing objects such as balls and ladders for the bears to interact with. Start your outline with general information about bears. Even though you'll be studying captive bears, you'll also need to understand their behavior in the wild. Learn the basics of general bear biology and also look up specific information about wild spectacled bear behavior. This will provide a basis for starting to think about what kinds of enrichment might be appropriate for them. Then you'll want to learn something about the care and management of bears in zoos. Read up on what zoos have been doing to reduce behavior problems in captive animals to make their lives more interesting. Find out which enrichment methods are used for other species of bears. Now you're ready to focus on environmental enrichment in spectacled bears. This will be the last addition to your outline for now. If you're not sure about your topic yet, you'll still find an outline helpful. You can start with a general idea based on your initial observations or a trip to the library and build your outline as you gather reading materials. Keep your topic practical. Remember that you'll have to carry out your research project with the resources and time available to you. Using your outline as a guide, you should now determine what kinds of reading materials you should be looking for. During your bibliographic research, you'll use two main kinds of sources: reference materials and journal articles. Reference materials usually contain brief and factual information that has been compiled from many different sources. They are an excellent starting point for gathering basic information about a topic. Journal articles report the results of original research. They will provide you with very specific and detailed information about your topic. For instance, while a field guide to South American mammals might give you a quick overview of spectacled bear biology and behavior, a journal article might report data on the use of space by captive spectacled bears and the repertoire of behaviors seen in spectacled bears in zoos. Local libraries can provide you with general information on your topic, while research and university libraries have a larger scope and may contain detailed collections, including journals on a wide variety of subjects. Both kinds of libraries have subscriptions to online resources and search tools that you may find useful. Ask your librarian to familiarize you with how the library is organized and to show you where the reference books and science journals are located. As you start your bibliographic research, be sure to keep a detailed record of your sources so you can cite them later when you report the results of your own behavioral study. Let's take a look at some useful reference materials for doing animal behavior research. Research guides provide an overview of important bibliographic resources, including reference books, periodicals, and databases, and can make your search more efficient by quickly pointing to what you're looking for. A bibliography is a list of books, articles, and other sources of information about a specific animal behavior topic or by a particular author. You may think of dictionaries and encyclopedias as just general references, but there are actually a number of dictionaries and encyclopedias that specialize in the sciences and even in animal behavior. They are useful references for looking up unfamiliar terms and ideas. Field guides often include basic information about biology and behavior. Handbooks are how-to guides to animal behavior research, covering topics such as study design and observational methods. Textbooks cover the basic theories and principles of animal behavior and provide examples of studies that illustrate these ideas. Natural history studies of a particular species are also useful as they go into great detail about animal behavior. Similarly, research anthologies bring together knowledge about specific types of behavior from different experts in the field. There are a number of searchable websites that provide useful reference information. As with anything else you find on the Internet, evaluate these websites carefully. Scientific societies and organizations dedicated to animal behavior or to groups of animals such as insects or amphibians can be an excellent source of information about your topic. For examples of specific animal behavior reference materials and links to established and reliable online references, refer to the PDF for this chapter. Researchers keep current in their field by reading primary literature. Animal behavior journals report the results of original research studies that test hypotheses and theories about behavior. There are also journals dedicated to specific classes of animals, such as mammals or birds. Many of their articles cover behavioral topics. For a list of specific journals related to animal behavior and different classes of animals, refer to the PDF for this chapter. Many journals are available in the science periodical section of some libraries. You can sometimes request articles from journals that your library does not carry through interlibrary loan or a document delivery service. Many journals are available online as e-journals through your library. Some journals are published exclusively online. The most efficient way to find articles about a specific subject is by searching databases of scientific literature. The best way to search for articles is to enter your specific topic into the subject field of the database. You may need to search for related topics as well. Some databases provide links to full-text articles online. If not, you'll have to search for the journal in the periodicals section of the library. Another way to search for journal articles is through online academic search engines. For specific examples of journal article databases and search tools, refer to the PDF for this chapter. Now that you have the tools for finding journal articles, let's talk about how to go about reading them. Just because you see something in writing doesn't mean it is valid. Be a skeptical reader. Peer review is an essential step in the scientific process where researchers in the same field check each other's work. No scientist can catch every mistake in their own work, and reviewers look for problems with the methods, data analysis, and logic of proposed arguments. Even if an article has been peer-reviewed, you should still read it with a critical eye. It's not enough for a scientist to report a statistically significant result. The hypothesis must be well-reasoned, the methods sound, the data analysis appropriate for addressing the research question, and the conclusions reasonable given the data. To get the most out of a journal article, break it down into major ideas and organize those ideas into an outline. Ask yourself questions like, what information am I looking for that relates to my topic? What points are controversial? Do the research methods provide the appropriate kind of information for answering the research question? And what questions are left unanswered by this study? As you do so, you will start to develop a critical eye for the level of detail and clarity required of thorough research, and you'll be able to distinguish between well-designed studies and sloppy research. A scientific journal article usually has 6 sections, each corresponding approximately to a step in the scientific process. The abstract summarizes the hypothesis being tested and the results of the study. The introduction gives background information and explains why the research question is of interest. As you read, ask yourself if the introduction is clearly written. Does it state the objective and the hypothesis? The Materials and Methods section explains how the data were collected. It should be unambiguous. Does it contain enough information so that another scientist could duplicate the study? The Results section reports and analyzes the data. It contains figures and tables that accurately illustrate the data. Does the data analysis directly address the predictions of the hypothesis? Are the statistical methods appropriate for this data set? Are the results significant? The Discussion section interprets the results. Are the data consistent with the hypothesis, or do the researchers reject the hypothesis based on conflicting data? The results should be interpreted relative to earlier published studies. The discussion will also report any unexpected results and identify unanswered questions. References make up the final section of the journal article. Papers must substantiate major ideas that are not original by citing them here. The reference section is an excellent place to look for additional articles on similar topics that can provide background material for your research study. Let's review the bibliographic research process for animal behavior. First, break your topic down into an outline. Next, familiarize yourself with the library and online search tools to find the materials you will need. Use the outline and search tools to identify useful bibliographic resources for your research, especially reference materials and journal articles. Now that we've covered the basics of bibliographic research, you're ready to define your research question and develop your hypothesis.